Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I was debating making a video on the movie The Sound of Freedom and its controversies, and I'm not really gonna go into it because I have seen some good videos by other YouTubers. I watch one of them being Nikki Atkins, the other I forget what YouTuber, but I will link it down below. But I will say, I recently saw Sloan did a video kind of giving credibility to the conspiracy theories, and I have thoughts on that. For a while, I've kind of stopped watching Sloan because I feel like a lot of his videos are salacious and not well researched and very clickbaity and nitpicking people, but that's besides the point. But I never expected him to give his platform over to conservative conspiracies. If you don't know, The Sound of Freedom is a movie that was released earlier this summer, and it is about human trafficking. And now, I will never deny that human trafficking is real. It definitely is real. It's a real issue in our world. But the organization that The Sound of Freedom is based on, Operation Underground Railroad, has its own controversies. One being that a lot of the people who are sent into different countries to rescue people from human trafficking have no training and they don't undergo any background checks. Another thing is many people who work in combating human trafficking have said that Operation Underground Railroad makes it worse by increasing the demand for children and also for helping to harm sex workers who are doing it legally. And that's never a good thing. Sex work, no matter how you feel about it, is one of the oldest professions around, and it's not going anywhere. Us making it illegal won't make it go away. Other issues are that a lot of the actors involved in the movie are big proponents of QAnon conspiracy theories and other alt-right beliefs and all of that. I've seen a lot on Sloan's video, people saying, "Oh, good for you, Sloan. I'm so tired of this being a political issue. Everybody on all sides should be against human trafficking." And I'm here to say right now, most people criticizing the movie are against human trafficking. I cannot speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. I am against human trafficking, but I also am against organizations that don't do their research and will try to swoop into these places, and they make matters worse by not being fully trained and fully prepared and having the right people doing the work. Because if it's random people off the street who have also been involved in like buying sex work and they're going into these countries, and they're the ones trying to save the children. That's a big problem. This is a political issue because the movie is inherently political, because Operation Underground Railroad has a lot of ties to conservative politics and white supremacy and homophobia and all that great stuff that we talk about, why that's so harmful on my channel.
To a false perception that the problem of trafficking is best addressed by kicking down doors and carrying out children. Most trafficking happens through a manipulative grooming process, opposed to like kidnapping scenarios, which I think, like, I mean, how do you really know this if, you know, not every case has ever been recorded? There are some people who are trapped in it and there's no help. And
one of the things Sloan says that really bothers me is, how do they know that most trafficking occurs through like a grooming process rather than like kidnapping? And the answer is, there are people that are actually working to combat this, and there are people working with survivors of human trafficking that have told their stories. If you're so hell-bent on being like, listen to victims, actually listen to them.
There's also a voiceover, like a narrator, for blind people, so she could tell a ton of people around her were getting up to go and complain about that.
No, not Sloan using disability inclusion as a reason why this movie is being suppressed. So if you didn't catch that part of the video, he basically said there was a TikToker who went to see this movie, and because there were audio descriptions in the movie which are used to help blind people fully experience what's going on visually in a piece of media, that was used to get people to walk out of the theater. I think this is more of an example of how people are so ableist, and why there will probably never be open captions in movie theaters, because sighted people are really easily inconvenienced, and they all act like Karens when there's accessibility. I'm not surprised at Sloan giving credence to ableist conspiracy theories. I am disappointed. I did hope he was better than this, but he's really, in these past like a year or so, he's really shown his true colors and how he's just not, his channel is not what it used to be, or maybe I wasn't paying attention because the red flags may have always been there. But anyway, my point is that if you think having audio descriptions on in a movie theater is the movie theater trying to get people to leave the theater, I really don't know what to say to that, because that is absurd. If having audio descriptions on can so easily get you to leave a movie theater, that sounds like a you problem. But what do I know? I'm a disabled person who wants to believe that the future will be accessible. But people like Sloan and that Stephanie person on TikTok, they really test my hope.
AMC are also putting out statements claiming that there are tons of people who have seen this movie. So this is like QAnon conspiracy. Twitter bots are pushing this narrative. But I mean, the beauty about TikTok is that like you can't really create like fake I mean, you can make fake TikToks, but those are real people and real experiences, and that's not made up. That's not like just a Twitter bot tweeting out something to make the theaters look bad.
His Sloan's he's right now saying that people can't make fake TikToks. First of all, with AI, people can make really anything now, but even if you are to not make that argument, but people make hoaxes on TikTok all the time. Do you not see like the TikToks with like the ghosts that are clearly like somebody pulling a prank or something? Is Sloan that ignorant, or is he just wanting to get praise for being like, oh, I'm not with those woke people, I'm not a sheep? Like, Sloan, I really thought Sloan was an intelligent person, but lately it's, you don't think people can make fake TikToks, and you think that's proof that that movie theater franchises are suppressing this film, when if they played a film and then they suppressed it and gave people free tickets to see another movie, you realize they would just lose money from the... Make it make sense. I really wish Sloan had done his research, because he was saying things like, oh, they're shutting off the air conditioner in the movie theaters, and all of a sudden the electricity goes out, or there's a technical difficulty. Think about this logically for a second. Take off your tinfoil hat and think about this logically. If a movie theater did not want people seeing a specific movie, why would they even play that movie? Why would they go through all that time playing the movie just to then be like, oh, let's sabotage this with technical difficulties? That doesn't make logical sense. If places like AMC theaters did not want people watching the movie, they don't have to play the movie at all. And I think a lot of this just goes into our need to think that there's something deeper going on, when really there may just be technical difficulties. And I know, oh, Erica, you're such a sheeple, whatever. But I just don't think this movie is the answer, especially when it is giving rise to a lot of conservative conspiracy theories that harm people more so. And especially because this organization that it is about has been called out by people actually doing the groundwork to rescue people from these situations. And I just think it's ridiculous, and I had bad vibes about the film before I even heard any of the controversy. I don't know, that's just me. I was like, something here isn't right. It's called The Sound of Freedom. That already kind of brings up a red flag for me, because freedom is a big buzzword in conservative politics. So that in and of itself made a red flag go up in my head. But then when I researched it further and found out more about this organization, I was like, yeah, it's kind of what I thought it was. And I'm just disappointed that Sloan would put this on his channel, and allow these people to have a voice on his channel. I wish he would look into the organization further. Of course, he's not gonna listen to me. I've made videos on him before. He ignores me, whatever. But I'm just making this because I've seen a lot of people on Facebook posting, oh, did you hear Netflix turned them down? This company turned them down. Do you have any idea how many films get turned down by big production companies every year? That does not mean that these production companies are scared to shed light on human trafficking. That could be a possibility, and I'm not saying it's not, but it could also be a possibility that they didn't think it was a good movie, or they didn't think it would do well, or they didn't want to give a platform to an organization that has a lot to hide. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I will link other videos down below so you can see more of the issues with this film. It just upset me to see Sloan using his platform in this way, and reading all the comments really kind of got me going. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.